on ZANU-PF. It is thus incumbent on us to constantly enhance the manner we execute and dispense our weighty duties and responsibilities in ever-changing environment. As the senior party leadership, let us remain mindful of our core characteristics of ZANU-PF, that of putting the ordinary people first and striving to improve their lives in line with the party aims and objectives. Our party's governance should do more to realize the intricate balance between expanding national wealth and the embedded objective of improving the well-being of our people.
Dr. Mnangagwa emphasized the importance of unity and development, reiterating counter-revolutionary and divisive elements have no space in Zimbabwe.
I commend all our citizens and stakeholders across society for the peace, the harmony, and tranquility environment prevailing in our country. We say thank you to our people. Divisive narratives, hate, and denigration of our national institutions, including machinations of whatever form, have no place in our modern and maturing constitutional democracy. Ngati mgwarire pane mweya wa legion semusangano nehurumende ngatigare takasunura counter-revolutionary and retrogressive elements on whatever platform must be exposed and rejected. Preserving, safeguarding, and protecting our peace, security, our unity, and development remains our collective moral and sacred duty, household by household, village by village.
On the forthcoming 23rd National People's Conference slated for Chinhoyi, Dr. Mnangagwa emphasized the importance of policy consistency.
It is pleasing that steady progress is being made in preparation for the 23rd National People's Conference to be hosted by Mashonaland West Province. The critical outcomes of National People's Conferences or any party meetings is never the numbers that attend, the quality of hosting or comfort of delegates. No. It is the policy output, the resolutions, and impactful decisions we make, and how these will transform our economic, social, and political landscape for the betterment of our nation. I appeal that we never lose sight of this fact. To this end, I exhort party organs and the government ministries to examine and track the implementation of conference and Congress outcomes, resolutions, and decisions ahead of this crucial annual gathering.
The Second Republic's macroeconomic policies get commendation from multilateral institutions, which requires government and the party to continuously work closely to ensure they deliver the needs of Zimbabweans.
The commendation of our reforms and macroeconomic stability framework by the International Monetary Fund and the Staff Monitored Program attests to the integrity of our policies and the economic fundamentals that we are implementing. Additionally, Zimbabwe's admission into the BRICS New Development Bank is a notable achievement that will widen our country's access to alternative, long-term, and sustainable development financing under NDC. Congratulations. Economic growth, however, is not an end in itself, but should respond to the people's aspirations for a better life in ways that best speaks to them. This requires us, as the Politburo, to demonstrate policy and strategic dexterity to support the Central Committee in executing its constitutional mandate.
The Revolutionary Party has delivered a number of empowerment initiatives across the country under the Leaving No One and No Place Behind. President Mnangagwa has challenged party leadership to be exemplary in fostering community development across the country. Bruce Chawanda, SABC News, Harare.
The oversubscribed 29th edition of the country's premier mining, engineering and transport exhibition commenced in Bulawayo this Wednesday. Let's take a look at what
the 29th edition of the country's premier mining, engineering and transport expo has drawn participation from over 270 exhibitors across 8 countries. This edition marks a significant milestone in advancing mineral beneficiation, with this theme aligning directly to the goals of the national vision of attaining an upper middle-income society status by 2030.
Mine Entra 2026 shifts the conversation beyond raw mineral extraction. We have seen that the government has been quite intentional in that thrust to emphasize on issues around beneficiation as well as value addition, and this is where we derive our theme.
The showcase continues to experience remarkable growth driven by the buyers and speed networking sessions, which have been running for 3 years. These sessions directly link suppliers with buyers, fostering regional and international trade partnerships.
There is an Italian company that actually came to our stand. They introduced us to this new machine called the surface miner. And we've seen that this machine is very appropriate for our activities.
These interactions are helping us to get more clients and to get more partnership as we continue servicing in the mining industry.
They are giving us an up-close interaction with the key stakeholders in different entities.
We are benefiting from the huge traffic of exhibitors that are coming to view our stand.
For international exhibitors, Zimbabwe's renewed focus on value addition and beneficiation is positioning the country as a competitive gateway for value addition and beneficiation in Southern Africa.
I think if you can promote it and you can get investors in here, I mean, you've got a really good education system, and that will really benefit the future of the country.
At the moment, your East and Western worlds are basically just taking what they want from Africa, and that is causing more poverty.
The Minister of Mines and Mining Development, Dr. Paulite Kambamura, also toured exhibition stands and expressed satisfaction at the manner in which industry is responding to the President's call for exploration.
I've seen some exploration machinery here displayed. We've seen some finished products from companies like Steelmakers, Dinson, which is Tsingshan in Manise. They've displayed value-added products.
With mining contributing 16% to the nation's gross domestic product, the first day of the showcase underscores that the country is firmly on track to building a globally competitive mining economy. Lisa Correa, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
Government policies meant to reserve the small-scale mining sector for locals has been described as a huge boost for the industry, which is employing thousands and also contributing to the nation's economic growth.
The mining sector, which is on a growth trajectory, continues to transform through government policy. And the latest directive to reserve the small-scale mining sector only for locals has been described as a positive development. Suppliers of key mining equipment into this sector are saying this has opened a window for them to increase their supplies to small-scale miners and also cut the import bill for mining equipment.
Get the right equipment to the small miners now, because like I said, the EPOs and that are gone. The government's given a lot of the claims to the small workers, the citizens of the country. But we need to make sure they mine it properly, so we extract everything. So for the opportunity for us is that we can now build more equipment for the small worker. So it'll increase jobs on our side.
With the enabling environment and prevailing gold prices and the demand in terms of lithium worldwide, we have identified quite a number of opportunities, especially when it comes to exploration. A lot of companies are coming in to do exploration.
The growth of the mining sector is also attracting new suppliers, including one Zimbabwean who is based in the United Kingdom, who says Zimbabwe is now a choice for many suppliers on the continent.
We are also here to add value as Zimbabweans because most of us are in the UK for a long time, but now I think it's time to get back to Zimbabwe and invest. And the government is really welcoming these days, especially looking at the setup and the environment, business-wise, and everything. I think the environment is fertile.
The quality of exhibitions at this year's Mine Entra, which has seen an increase in international exhibitors, demonstrate that Zimbabwe's mining sector is on a growth trajectory, but it is also a good story for Zimbabwe's economic growth, where mining continues to anchor the economy through increased export earnings. Owen Mandova, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
Finance, Economic Development and Investment Promotion Minister Professor Mthuli Ncube will present the 2026 midterm budget review in Harare this Thursday, with measures to consolidate economic gains expected to take center stage.
Professor Mthuli Ncube is also expected to provide an update on how the economy has performed since January this year, as well as outlining expectations for the remainder part of 2026. A tax expert, Mr. Simbarashe Hamudi, says the review will also focus on how the 290 billion ZiG budget for 2026 has been used since January this year.
The midterm fiscal policy review is done in order to ensure if we are still in line with the objectives of the government as per the budget that was done by the minister last year, which was the budget for the year 2026. But looking at the things, we are still in line, and we do not expect as much changes from the midterm fiscal policy review that will be done by the minister.
Professor Albert Makochekanwa at the University of Zimbabwe Department of Economics and Development believes the review should consolidate economic gains.
The review should maintain the stance as it is so that we continue as before with a stable money supply, an exchange rate that continue to be very stable at 26 point something versus the US, and also a single-digit inflation that we have witnessed since January 2026.
A governance and economics expert, Mr. Jonathan Dube, expects a policy continuity as Zimbabwe targets a 5% growth rate by end of this year.
It gives confidence to those who are to be investing in the country. It also gives confidence to industry and business players in that they are able to plan. You are planning around known issues, you are planning around stabilized issues. So if we have got such a situation where we've got continuity in policy, it is not going to give you this gray area where you are not sure what you are going to achieve in the following year or in the following 6 months.
The 2026 budget review, which will be presented here at the new Parliament building, will also focus on the 2027 National Budget Strategy paper as Zimbabwe forges ahead with the National Development Strategy 2. Stanley James, ZBC News, Mount Hampton.
Masvingo Province has paid a tribute to the Second Republic for according national hero status to Brigadier General Gibbs Kachana, which led to the exhumation of his remains for burial at the National Heroes Acre.
This Wednesday saw the people of Masvingo, represented by the provincial leadership and the Kachana family, gathering to bid farewell to the late national hero, Brigadier General Gibbs Kachana, who passed on 26 years ago and was declared a national hero posthumously by President Dr. Emmerson Mnangagwa. His remains were exhumed from his raw home in Chivi, and he is expected to be buried at the National Shrine. Speaking during the send-off ceremony, Masvingo Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Honorable Ezra Chadzamira, expressed gratitude to President Mnangagwa for recognizing the work done by Brigadier General Kachana. Brigadier General Kachana's family is grateful to government for the honor.
I would like to thank the government of Zimbabwe for honoring our father, the late Brigadier General Gibbs Kachana, and honoring him by declaring him a national hero. We are excited and very happy about that.
Kutenda umunin'ina wangu nebasa raakaita ramuita kuti nhasi arangarirwewo nehurumende negavhmendi yedu kuti andihopa irose ega. Uye ndoda kutenda zvakanyanya. Handisi kuti ndingatenda sei president vedu nekurangarira kwavaitawo munin'ina wangu kuti andoradzikwawo pano mumagamba aakashandawo nawo.
After the ceremony, Brigadier General Kachana's remains were airlifted to Harare ahead of burial at the National Heroes Acre. President Mnangagwa recently announced the Brigadier General Kachana's national hero status in recognition of his outstanding role in Zimbabwe's liberation struggle and dedicated service to the nation. The remains of Brigadier General Kachana were exhumed on Tuesday from Shindi village in Chivi district of Masvingo province. He died in April 2000. Brigadier General Kachana's remains will be interred at the National Shrine together with those of Comrade Gwakuba Ndlovu, Comrade Herbert Zava Sambo, and Professor Sheunesu Mpepereki. Mace Matina, ZBC News, Masvingo.
May he continue to rest in peace. In our following report, road infrastructure development is gathering momentum across the country as the government prioritizes the rehabilitation and upgrading of the road network. This includes the 35-kilometer Glendale-Njimbo Road in Mashonaland Central Province, which is nearing completion.
The transformation of the 35-kilometer Glendale-Njimbo Road is nearing completion, with IMC Construction putting the final touches to a resurfacing project that is improving connectivity in Mashonaland Central Province.
Ease of travel has greatly improved along the Glendale-Njimbo Road, with residents of Chiweshe applauding government for rehabilitating the key transport corridor, saying the project has reduced travel time, lowered vehicle maintenance costs, and improved road safety.
Sokuti iye zvino hapana kuchema munhu achitema kuti tayari rangu rarohwa pane gomba rikadi. Pakutanga nzira yanga isina kumira zvakanaka, asi zvino zvaiwa tinotenda hurumende yatiitira zvakanaka. Nzira yedu aiwa tikufara. Tare yedu yakanaka, yakagadzirwa zvakanaka. Nyaya yatingoramba tingochema nayo ndiyo yemahambu kubva pagomapo kusvika kuzasuko kwamasotya uko. Hapana kutimirira zvakanaka. Dai vangavambotisura kana mazebra line apo yokuti vana vagona kudarika vachienda kuchikoro.
Zvinodadisa zvinofadza kana tikuona kuti kana mapoto kumasaidi mese yange yapara rodhi, saka tikuona kuti maaccidents akutonyaza kuti low.
IMC Construction Asphalt Supervisor Mr. Flashdance Madzudzo disclosed the project has entered its final phase.
So far, we are now in close and Glendale. Less kilometer to be in Glendale. We have got 7 kilometers from Rosa Turnoff to Njimbo Turnoff. Ndo yatasara nayo 7 kilometers. But so far so good. Zviri kufamba zvakanaka. Tofumana program yemukuru wenyika kilometer by kilometer. Inoita kuti road dzedu dzive dzakanaka. Transportation yakanaka pakufamba kwevanhu mumaroads.
Beyond improving connectivity, completion of this road is set to accelerate rural industrialization, a key pillar of the National Development Strategy 2, aimed at driving inclusive growth and rural transformation. Tapiwa Machemedze, ZBC News, Mazowe.
Government's commitment to equitable infrastructure development is on display in Bulilima, Matabeleland South Province, with local companies now working on the Plumtree Maitengwe and Plumtree Cholocho roads, which are part of Independence legacy projects.
The site of these heavy earth-moving equipment and the Plumtree Maitengwe road, the road that links Zimbabwe with Botswana via Maitengwe, way beyond the independence celebrations that were held here in Matabeleland South Province, is testament enough of government's commitment to complete all the independence legacy projects. To the people of Bulilima, Plumtree and Mangwe, the construction of Plumtree Maitengwe road tells a story a story of a government that is committed to inclusive development.
Asibona isigaba sihamba sibili kuyakhanya ukuthi khona uhulumende yaphathisa sibili ngendlela phela. Lathi siyajabula nje ukubona kunje kucazimula.
Siyakuthokozelela silodwa hayi ulunge sibuze uyefika khona le ngoba kwezinye indawo vele bekungakuhambeki la kathesi izilongo njoba lo ngakapheli. Vele hayi phambili le ususiya khona le phansi le hayi kunzima kakhulu but siyakuthokozelela odayi imigwaqo sibili ilunge okwenza ukuthi sikwazi ukuhamba lathi sijabulile nje sibe free.
Ya simbonani uma umgwaqo ungalunga ungasisiza lokho hamba izimoto zingahamba kahle lathi ekhaya singafika kahle ngoba lazo sikhamba nzima.
Now, we spoke to one of the site engineers here at the 10-kilometer stretch in the Plumtree Maitengwe Road, Mr. Nevermind Zambuko, who told us that they are racing against time to complete this project before September.
The total that we are doing is 10 kilometers. At the moment, we are going base 1, base 1. After base 1, then is a tar.
Now, hosting this year's National Independence celebrations here in Matabeleland South did not only just improve Matabeleland South in terms of infrastructure development, but also created opportunities for local companies. And one of these companies that were given the tender to do Plumtree Maitengwe Road is a local company, Inno Construction.
This is our first project. All along, besisenza nje ama project amancane, but ukubuya kwe-independence ngapha kwelemat South kusivulela amathuba yikho lathi sifuna ukusebenza gadalala wenzela ukuthi lokho esikuphiwe ngumongameli wethu sikuphuchise.
As part of the 46th National Independence Celebrations Legacy Projects, government is constructing Plumtree Maitengwe Road, Gwanamapisa Road, Bulawayo Kezi Road, 40 computer and science laboratories across Matabeleland South Province, Felabusi Civil Registry, and 40 village business units across Matobo District. Providence Maranelli, ZBC News, Plumtree.
Well, speaking of projects, modern infrastructure development and modernization programs have been cited as key to economic growth under the Second Republic. We get more.
The Special Advisor to the President on Monitoring and Implementation of Government Programs and Projects, Dr. Joram Gombo, commenced his 3-day tour of infrastructure development projects in Manicaland this Wednesday. On his first leg of this tour, Dr. Joram Gombo toured the Mega Market Trailer Assembly Facility, the Christmas Pass Bypass Interchange, and the Manicaland State University for Applied Sciences Hostel Infrastructure Project to evaluate the progress in terms of implementation of these projects.
One of the defining characteristics of the Second Republic has been its unwavering determination to move beyond policy formulation towards effective implementation. Development is ultimately measured not by the number of plans produced, but by the number of projects completed, services delivered, and lives transformed. It is therefore encouraging that the projects visited today continue to demonstrate positive implementation progress and remain aligned with the government's broader national development priorities.
The tour served as a platform for the contracted partners to give status updates on these infrastructure development projects.
In the case of Mega Markets, every cent of profit is reinvested in our infrastructure and our people, and goes on to create even greater employment right here at home.
At the moment, we are focusing on our bulk earthworks, that's excavations and rock blasting, and for those activities we're at about 80% for both. And then we've also done subgrade for about 6 kilometers now.
The student accommodation shall be accommodating about 200 students, 100 male and 100 females. And this shall be a milestone as we shall have improved the student welfare of Manicaland State University of Applied Science.
Meanwhile, the Second Republic has rolled out several developmental projects in Manicaland which are transforming the lives of people in the province.
Our president has always said, this university, this bypass
These markets are being built by Zimbabweans for Zimbabweans. Today's journey, ladies and gentlemen, has taken us across 3 living examples of Vision 2030 in motion. In commerce, we have mega markets, connectivity, Christmas Pass bypass, and human capital student hostels here. These are not isolated projects. Together, they form one coherent story of a province rising, producing more, moving goods faster, and educating its youth.
Infrastructure development has emerged as the cornerstone of Zimbabwe's economic strategy under the Second Republic, which is being led by President Dr. Emmerson Mnangagwa. Gay Matambo, ZBC News, Mutare.
Over 4,900 suspects have been arrested in line with the supply reduction pillar of the multi-sectoral drug and substance abuse plan. This emerged after a tour of Wilkins Rehabilitation Center by the National Committee on Drug and Substance Abuse.
Ndandiri munhu aitora crystal meth nembanje ndichigara ndakashungurudza mukadzi wangu nedombo.
For close to a year, 36-year-old Panashe Guti, under the influence of crystal meth, popularly known locally as Dombo, abused his wife, an act he says he deeply regrets.
After a month, ndakanga ndakuona kuti zvinhu zvazvo zvandaita ndichitora dombo hazvisiri izvo zvandaifunga. Ndichibva ndakonfesa kuhama dzangu ndikati no, I'm guilty. Mudzimai wangu ari innocent.
Walking through Wilkins Rehabilitation Center, an initiative of government since last year, the beginning of the script appears to be the same for every patient. However, the rehabilitation process has transformed their minds and consequently their lives. And this can be heard in their stories.
Zvakasvikira pakuti mai vangu vakatotanga kuti wapilitse BP nekuda kwangu. So ndipo ndakazorealize kuti life andorama isiri kuti ndinopora kurehab.
Kuuya kwandakaita kunoku kuWilkins handina mari yandakabvisa. Kurumende ndinotenda zvikuru vari kutibatsira and out there vamwewo vari kutora zvinodhaka. Ndinoti abstain.
This Wednesday, the National Committee on Drug and Substance Abuse told Wilkins Rehabilitation Center in a bid to assess efforts that have been put in place by the Harare Metropolitan Province to curb the scourge according to the multi-sectoral drug and substance abuse plan.
To think of it that more than 4,000 people have been arrested in Harare alone, that clearly shows that we do have a problem. And of concern is the percentage of the youth. We were told that more than 3,000 of that 4,000 are youths, are people below the age of 35. That is worrisome. So we have a collective responsibility, all of us, to ensure that we fight this menace.
Pillar 6 of the multi-sectoral drug and substance abuse plan also emphasizes promoting public understanding of drug use, risks and interventions, as well as social and behavior change to reduce behavioral problems and DSA-related stigma.
People have to be given awareness. We have just spoken about the outreach programs that are being conducted, and whenever those outreach programs are being conducted, it matters most when the voices are amplified.
A report by the Harare Metropolitan Province Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution indicates that in 2026, a total of 126 awareness campaigns were conducted and 23,143 persons were reached. And now, the focus for the remaining months of the year is on treatment and rehabilitation and community reintegration. Panashe Nagoli, ZBC News, Harare.
We continue to say no to drug and substance abuse. Meanwhile, government has reaffirmed its commitment to creating an enabling environment and strengthening public institutions to achieve national development objectives. This emerged at the opening of a tripartite strategic planning workshop in Kadoma held this Wednesday.
The tripartite strategic planning workshop running from this Wednesday here in Kadoma has brought together senior government officials from the Office of the President and Cabinet, Public Service Commission and the Minister of Finance, Economic Development and Investment Promotion to review, deliberate and strengthen delivery performance of government ministries, departments and agencies. Anchored on the National Development Strategy 2 running from 2026 until 2030, some of the speakers noted the need in ensuring ensuring government resources are aligned with national priorities.
As we move into the implementation phase of the NDS2, we look forward to greater investments in agro-processing industries that will add value to our agricultural produce, create employment and expand export opportunities.
We've done quite a lot in terms of the other physical infrastructure, roads, energy, as well as other supporting infrastructure. But we now need to make sure that the hospitals are built, they are refurbished. We also need to make sure that the schools meet the standards that we believe are adequate for our students, but also the support for learning materials. But more importantly, I think the availability of drugs and medicines in our hospitals.
The Chief Secretary in the Office of the President and Cabinet, Dr. Martin Rushwaya, highlighted the mandate bestowed on the government in establishing systems that are result-oriented and accountable.
You are thus here to align our macro goals with our operations. The three of us as the tripartite must see how we contribute to the big picture. We must also prioritize the programs that give the greatest impact and commit to execute what we agree on in the national interest.
Since its establishment, the tripartite has made commendable progress in advancing the public sector's transformative agenda. The Second Republic has made significant progress in institutionalizing a performance management culture through the introduction of performance contracts in 2021, aligned with the implementation of the national development strategies. Memory Chamisa, ZBC News, Kadoma.
Viewers, please be advised that all ZBC television content and radio stations are now available on our new OTT platform, Z+. Download the Z+ app today from the Apple App Store or Google Play Store and stay connected wherever you are.
Do remember, for more details, you can get in touch with us and check out our website. That is www.zbcnews.co.zw, or you can get in touch with us on our social media handles. That is at ZBC News Online. Still to come in this bulletin. In business, Invictus Steel Africa drives industrial growth in Manicaland. In sport, Zimbabwe Chevrons gear up for Namibia T20 Tri-Series. The main news takes a breather. We'll be back with you shortly.
Join us for the Midlands Business Exhibition Show from the 13th to the 16th of August. Themed Value Addition, the key to competitiveness. Farmers, don't miss out. Our guest of honor is the Minister of Agriculture, Honorable Anxious Masuka. The business conference is on the 14th of August and will feature the prominent businessman, Mr. Tagwirei, to boost corporate growth. Bring the family for kids' playgrounds, plus enjoy live performances on Saturday and Sunday from Takura, Nashizim, Enzo Aishal, Nyasha David, and local artists. Be there.
Emma fighting corruption. By the very nature of the operating environment, business face considerable exposure to theft, fraud, and unethical behaviors. Exentium Ethics Line is a unique business solution that combats series of problems facing organizations such as corruption, embezzlement, abuse, dishonest, and other inappropriate behaviors in the workplace. The Environmental Management Agency, EMMA, subscribes to this whistleblowing service. All stakeholders of EMMA are welcome to use Exentium Ethics Line to report any unethical behaviors within EMMA that they may be aware of in a safe and confidential manner. Contact Exentium Ethics Line on the numbers appearing on your screen.
For 22 years, the old Arsenal artillery has lain silent and dormant, but the fuse is about to go boom!
And it's more safe. Ministry of Skills.
To ensure that skills match industry needs, we will continue to update the National Skills Audit Registry, reform the technical and vocational education training curricula, expand apprenticeship programs, and strengthen trade testing infrastructure.
The development of a nation is determined by its intellectual capacity. The Ministry of Skills Audit and Development is conducting sectoral skills audits and nationwide skills development programs. Join the revolution.
Ministry of Skills Audit and Development. Skilling, reskilling and upskilling for socio-economic transformation.
We've always known what it takes to grow. But this is what it feels like to finally step inside the dream. It's that quiet moment when a room holds everything it used to be and everything it made possible. That this is actually mine feeling when the first payment hits. That pure adrenaline from a small space to an empire you rule. And when you said you'd almost sleep in your first car, we made sure you actually did. Plans may adapt, circumstances will evolve, but your growth, that's non-negotiable. Bank on growth with Stanbic Bank Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is our home, and we drive her growth.
Stanbic Bank is a registered commercial bank and a member of the Deposit Protection Scheme.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. The government says accelerated pace is expected in the rehabilitation of the Bulawayo Victoria Falls Highway as alternative funding models have been unlocked. This emerged during this Wednesday's question and answer session in the National Assembly.
Questions posed by members of parliament this Wednesday. Transport and Infrastructural Development Minister Honorable Felix Mona said government has unlocked alternative funding models which will accelerate the Bulawayo Victoria Falls Highway rehabilitation pace.
We are also advocating for other funding models where we are talking of triple P arrangements, loan facilities. So I'm happy that this is one of the roads that we've earmarked. And now we have funding to continue works. So I want to say to Honorable Machamu, yes, just give us, watch the space. As we move towards August, you'll see massive rehabilitation again.
Minister Mona further highlighted government quality control measures to ensure the infrastructure stands the test of time.
There is quality control. We've got resident engineers on each particular project where they monitor, they work with the contractor, and also our resident engineer from the ministry will be supervising. But yes, I want to say to Honorable Madzivanika, in the event that you have such roads, contractors are accountable.
Responding to an energy inquiry, Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services Minister Dr. Jemu Soda said government will soon avail unleaded fuel for vehicles which do not take blended fuel.
A mechanism will soon be implemented where those that prefer to buy unleaded petrol that is not blended, they can then be allowed to access it at our various service stations.
ICT, Postal and Courier Services Minister Honorable Tatenda Mavetera also gave an update on the implementation of the artificial intelligence strategy launched earlier this year.
All these institutions, especially our higher tertiary institutions, they've got acceleration centers. So what we have done is to speak into them and also find out ways that we can for us to upskill, reskill and skill our citizenry in terms of AI development.
In health, Deputy Minister of Health and Childcare Honorable Sleiman Kwidini highlighted government plans to establish the National Health Insurance.
We are currently working on what we call National Health Insurance, which is going to cater each and every citizen in Zimbabwe in terms of affording health medical care even those who are in medical aid schemes, they will be also falling under that national health insurance.
The national health insurance is designed as a pooled financing mechanism where contributions from workers, employers, and government are combined to finance healthcare services. Panashana Golis, BC News, Harare.
Liberation War veterans and war collaborators in Mutasa South constituency have benefited from a medical outreach program rolled out in the area under the Presidential War Veterans Medical Outreach Initiative.
The medical outreach, which forms part of broader empowerment and social welfare initiatives under the Second Republic, aimed at improving the livelihoods, health and well-being of veterans of the liberation struggle, also benefited the elderly in this area. Beneficiaries of this initiative applauded President Dr. Emmerson Mnangagwa for championing targeted health programs that prioritize veterans of the liberation struggle and senior citizens.
Kana zvauyawo munzvimbo zvinotibatsira kuti kana ari padhuze uyo kana mubhara tinovanogona takurwa chiuya chidini achibatsirwa.
Yayamurika tinotenda nechirongwa chakanaka kudai. Kutenda vamunangagwa nechirongwa chawatiunzira pano paGrange.
The beneficiaries received a wide range of free healthcare services, which include health screenings for chronic illnesses and diagnostic tests, with doctors also providing specialist consultations.
Tanyanyofambira maovets, tichita patient screening, tichicheka for chronic illnesses, tichita health education, kune vanenge vanyorerwawo mishonga nana chiremba, tichivabetsera nemishonga yatinenge tauya nayo, vasina tichivabatsira kuti vanoiwana sei nekugadzira facility yekuti vanhu vazive mawo veterans awane rubatsiro in terms of their health needs.
The outreach program aligns with the Second Republic's commitment to improving the health and social welfare of war veterans while ensuring equitable healthcare access across rural communities.
Taukurudzira kuti dai chirongwa ichi chafamba kuma constituency ese kuitira kuti makomrades ese ari kuma constituency akasiyana-siyana angachibatsirwa.
Kufara kuti a lot of them have been checked, vari kuonekwa na BP, sugar and so on, vakuziva zvinovanetsa and mahospitals aripo tinobva tavaendesa ikoko vobatsirwa. Saka president wedu ari kutigonera because nyika ino yakarwirwa nema-war veterans and we want them to chipanga mazano. We want them to stay alive as long as possible.
Government continues to roll out mobile health outreaches across rural communities to complement primary health services and achieve universal health coverage in line with the National Development Strategy 2. Gay Matambo, ZBC News, Mutasa.
Mother of Peace Orphanage in Mutoko, which became a sanctuary of orphans at the height of HIV and AIDS in the 1990s, is one of the remarkable stories of hope. One of the founders, a 94-year-old Gogo Jean Konek, narrates the story of a place whose establishment has its roots in Christianity.
26 years ago, Inspector Takawira was abandoned by his mother just a few minutes after his birth when she misrepresented to nursing staff at Parenyatwa Hospital that she was going to relieve herself before disappearing from the health facility. Takawira is one of the many children who found refuge at Mother of Peace Orphanage in Mutoko, founded in 1994.
Ndakaberekerwa muHarare Parenyatwa Hospital. Mai vangu vakati vachindizvara ndobva vakandizvarira pagedhi remutoko hospital reHarare Parenyatwa Hospital pakanga pakachekwa rukuvute rwangu. Saka nesi akanditakura anonzi Debra akati achinditakura achinondisa muchipatara. Amai vangu vakakumbira kuti sevada kupinda mutoilet. Hanzi ndipo vakabuda vanozoona kuti vakafamba sei. No information yavakasiya. Ndipo pandakauya paMother of Peace panapa ndava ne3 days.
Co-founder Gogo Jean Konek, who is now 94, narrates how a place that was a leprosy center at the foot of Mtemwa Mountain in Mutoko was transformed into a sanctuary for abandoned children and those whose parents succumbed to the AIDS pandemic. Rooted in a remarkable journey of faith, Gogo Jean narrates how a Roman Catholic prayer group led to Mother of Peace in Mutoko, inheriting one of Africa's largest leprosy center ruins.
Takatangira kuHarare, we were just a prayer group. Vamwe vangu vese vaiva vachena, ndini ndega ndanga ndasiri muchena zvangu. saka vakanditi chifanoenda unoona kuti kwakamira sei. And pandakatanga kusvika kunoko ndaigara mukaravhani ichiripo nanhasi iripo karavhani yangu. Saka takauya riri sango asi ndo pakatangira leprosy. Malepazi ese aibva kumusoro kweAfrica uko vachiuyiswa muno muZimbabwe pagomo iri rinonzi Mutemwa, nanhasi kliniki yacho iripo.
She spoke of one extraordinary moment that finally convinced the group to settle for Mutemwa Wilderness to construct Mother of Peace Orphanage.
The day when my colleagues came, we were all seated outside, outside kwenguva ino yave out. But takagara padhuze nekune Blue Cross uko. Takatogara ipapo pakauya chapungu, munochiziva chapungu. Chakabalansa, chakatitarisa kudai for a long time. Isi takagara ipapo. Iye zvino ndo pakatoiswa Blue Cross.
Camp Administrator Beulah Msere, who joined the Mother of Peace in 2014, highlighted that the Blue Cross has become a landmark feature as congregants visit the place believed to have spiritual powers despite hosting a leprosy center for centuries.
Hapana munhu anosvika paBlue Cross achidzokera akadaro. Uyopiwa anonzi ma-great graces nekuti pana Mwari hapana chisingagoneki. Eyo ndiye munopiwa ma-blessings. Vamwe watanga kutodairwa kutodzika pavafoni zvanga zvakangonyarara kaudzwa vasina kana mubvira mumbona matiri nekuti Mwari anenge achida kuzviratidza.
Over the years, Mother of Peace has grown into a self-sustaining community, establishing a dam on the nearby stream, which is expected to feed the institution's irrigation system. Gogo Jean is not done yet, and her vision is to build a secondary school after constructing a primary school. Kenya's Sivuje, ZBC News, Mutoko.
We are taking a breather. Join us when we return.
For 22 years, the old Arsenal artillery has lain silent and dormant, but the fuse is about to go boom!
Discovery often begins with curiosity. But curiosity alone is never enough. Every discovery starts with a bold step. For beyond that bold step lies a world of hidden treasures. Welcome to our world, Zimbabwe's best kept secret. Nestled within the deep, mystical landscapes of Vumba, here, every step is guided by purpose, nurtured with joy, and made with love. Connected by the eastern border of Mozambique, our roots run deep, and every footprint we leave is intentional. We work in harmony with the environment by harnessing the power of the sun. We've gone off-grid, protecting the land that continues to nourish us. That rich orange marmalade, that creamy peanut butter, no longer has to be a dream. At FarmGold, making dreams come true is what we're all about.
Across Zimbabwe, agriculture continues to be part of the economic expansion, driving industrial output, strengthening exports, and delivering measurable year-on-year value chain growth. One platform stands at the intersection of capital and innovation, the 116th Zimbabwe Agricultural Show. From the 24th to the 29th of August 2026, join us as we roll out under the theme Powering Growth, where agriculture, technology, and commerce converge. ZAS 2026 is the ultimate nexus for enterprise. It's a premier ecosystem where primary producers, tech giants, and industrial leaders synchronize to deliver market-ready solutions. Gain exclusive access to the Agricultural Research Excellence and Technology Indaba, the forum where experts turn industry challenges into high-level commercial opportunities. If growth is your mandate, if market leadership is your objective, if success is your horizon, then see you at ZAS 2026. For more info, visit www.zas.co.zw.
For 22 years, the old Arsenal artillery has lain silent and dormant, but the fuse is about to go boom!
Our leading story in business, small and medium enterprises are driving the country's industrialization agenda, with a local steel manufacturing firm, Invictus Steel Africa, emerging as a successful model of steel manufacturing in Manicaland province.
The steel manufacturing entity, established as a small-scale operation, has expanded into heavy metal fabrication, structural engineering and steel manufacturing, supplying key materials for infrastructure, construction and agriculture. Invictus Steel Africa chairperson, Mr. Munyaradzi Shadaya, attributed the enterprise's expansion to strategic investments in modern fabrication machinery, workforce training, and active participation in enterprise development programs rolled out by government.
The support that we have from the Ministry for SMEs has allowed us to participate in some supply arrangements with tenders, of course, with some of the parastatals that consume our services. And we've also been able to experience a surge in downstream demand for where government projects have come through, which have construction front.
Speaking after a joint ministerial tour of the production facility, government officials concurred the enterprise aligns directly with Vision 2030 priorities through import substitution, domestic value addition, and job creation for local youth.
We are happy that this company is into steel, and there's a lot of construction taking place in Manicaland, in Mutare in particular. There's a lot of buildings coming up, and their steel products is becoming handy.
We expect a situation where the raw materials can start actually be locally produced. That will actually increase production, that will also increase employment, and actually they can actually graduate to be the big companies of this country.
Government has established robust policy frameworks that champion industrialization and formalization of SMEs that include dedicated financing channels such as the Small and Medium Enterprises Development Corporation. Gay Matambo, ZBC News, Mutare.
The main news takes a break. We'll be back shortly with the latest in sport.
For over a decade, Zimbabwe waited. Now our game returns. One nation, one competition, one dream. Bringing Zimbabweans together through the game they love. From juniors to professionals, from beach soccer to futsal, from every corner of Zimbabwe. A pathway from community fields to national teams. The Munumutapa Challenge Cup is calling all genders, all regions, all of Zimbabwe. The biggest cup challenge this nation has ever seen. Follow the journey, support your team, be part of history.
For 22 years, the old Arsenal artillery has lain silent and dormant, but the fuse is about to go boom!
Zimbabwe's biggest agricultural and business showcase is back. From 24 to 29 August, experience ZAS 2026, powering growth where agriculture, technology and commerce converge as Zimbabwe celebrates innovation, investment and enterprise. Make sure your brand is seen, heard and remembered. Advertise with ZBC and enjoy unbeatable exposure across television, radio, digital and social media. Reach every province, reach every market, reach Zimbabwe. Book your ZAS campaign today. Contact Mildred 0712 831 177 or Thelma 0776 413 261. Email marketing@zbc.co.zw. ZBC, Zimbabwe's #1 broadcast partner.
Welcome back and thank you so much for staying with us. We jump straight into our sport where Zimbabwe Sevens are turning their attention to a fresh challenge as they gear up for T20 Tri-Series set for Namibia next month.
The Tri-Series offers an immediate opportunity for the Chevrons to reset after a demoralizing 3-0 whitewash at the hands of India. The tournament, which gets underway on the 28th of August, will see Zimbabwe line up alongside host Namibia and South Africa in a format designed to sharpen their limited over credentials ahead of a busy international calendar. Each side will play the other twice in a round-robin format, with the top two advancing to the final, giving the participating countries a valuable exposure to high-level competition. The Tri-Series carries added significance as a direct build-up to the Africa Cup, a regional tournament set to expand into a 6-team event next year. The expanded edition is scheduled for Zimbabwe's new Mosua Junior Stadium in Victoria Falls, a facility currently under construction. Looking further ahead, Zimbabwe will return to home soil in September to host Australia for a 3-match one-day international series, a fixture set to test their 50-over readiness and provide another key platform in the international program. Anna Shemrombedzi, ZBC News, Harare.
FC Platinum fans have expressed mixed feelings after the Zhishavane-based side parted ways with head coach Joe Lupahla and his technical team.
After winning just 2 of their last 10 league matches, FC Platinum on Tuesday parted ways with head coach Joe Lupahla and his technical team. The Zhishavane-based side has since appointed South African coach Thabo Senong as the new head coach, subject to the processing of his work permit. Lupahla's departure has divided opinion among the FC Platinum faithful, with some supporters welcoming the decision, while others believe he deserved more time.
Then vozotsvaga a new coach. Urongwa hwayaita hwokusiyana na coach Joel Lupahla. I think hwahwakatarisirwa namasupporters akati wandei. Imove yatiri kutambira.
With the club awaiting Senong's work permit, the executive says it is still working on the rest of the technical team. The club could not be drawn to confirm the impending arrival of Kaizer Chiefs midfielder Reneliwe Yeyele Tsolonyane, who is already in the country and expected to join the Zhishavane-based side as Senong's assistant.
I can confirm that we mutually parted ways with coach Joe Lupahla, and we have appointed Thabo Senong to be in charge of the team for the next 6 months. But however, this is subject to completion of contractual and registration formalities.
FC Platinum hosts Simba Bora at Mandava Stadium on Saturday, with interim coaches Moses Mafulirwa and Alexio Sijon set to take charge. Kare Joshe, ZBC News, Zhishavane.
On an exciting note, Zimbabwe's dream to host international football matches is set to become a reality after a Confederation of African Football inspection team assessed Chawanda Stadium in Kwekwe. The inspection forms part of CAF's stadium certification process, with authorities confident the ongoing upgrades will bring the facility closer to meeting international standards.
The 3-member CAF inspection team, comprising Infrastructure Inspector Alois Mopambara, Safety and Security Inspector Elo Cloud, and Pitch Expert David Noel, carried out a comprehensive assessment of Chawanda Stadium, evaluating infrastructure, safety systems, and the quality of the playing surface. The visit forms part of CAF's stadium certification process as Zimbabwe intensifies efforts to bring more facilities back onto the continental football calendar, with the venue seeking CAF Category 2 homologation.
It was routine to actually prepare us for the final inspection, which is due very soon. We are actually impressed by the preliminary outcome so far. We haven't received the report as such, but after our briefing, we are very positive. We've got just some few areas to look into, but those, of course, are routine. They were already on the way.
Approved Category 2 CAF-sanctioned stadiums can host specific continental and youth tournament matches, including CAF Champions League and Confederation Cup preliminary rounds, as well as Under-17, Under-20 and Under-23 African Cup of Nations qualifiers, but not Senior National Team AFCON and World Cup qualifiers. The assessment comes as CAF inspects Zimbabwe's football infrastructure after inspections at the National Sports Stadium on Monday. The Harare venue's playing surface is scheduled for a separate technical assessment on Wednesday before CAF consolidates its findings. Wellington Makonese, ZBC News, Kwekwe.
From sport, we check it with the Weather Center.
We may be saying goodbye to winter, but for the areas in the south, we're still expecting some cold conditions over the weekend. But for this morning, some patchy cloud cover in the southeastern areas of the country, with some ground frost being recorded in Matopo through to Rusape area, and those clear skies giving us mild weather in the afternoon. But by evening, temperatures dropped into the cold category, especially in the southwest, with some in the single digits. And for afternoon tomorrow, it should be mild countrywide, though warmer in our resort towns, Victoria Falls and Kariba, and in Chiredzi as well. Getting into our detailed forecast, in Bulawayo, it should be cold in the morning, but much warmer by afternoon with plenty of sun. In Matobo, we're still expecting some ground frost for tomorrow, but heating up to about 25 degrees Celsius. And in Gwanda, similar conditions, though those easterly winds should bring down our temperatures to a maximum of 21 degrees for Friday. In Mashingo as well, it should be cold over the weekend, but for tomorrow, we're expecting a maximum of 25. In Gweru as well, it should be mild daytime conditions for tomorrow, but getting progressively colder as we get into the weekend. In Mutare, it's a minimum of 8 degrees Celsius for tomorrow and a maximum of 25. In Yanga, keep those jerseys close as we're still expecting cool daytime conditions and much colder in the morning with a minimum of just 5 for tomorrow. In Marondera, mild daytime temperatures in the low 20s should prevail for much of the forecast period, with some cold mornings around 5 or 6 degrees Celsius. And in Harare, plenty of sunshine with a maximum of 24 degrees for tomorrow. Kwekwe as well, warm daytime temperatures dropping down to about 24 for Saturday. In Kadoma, it should be warm daytime temperatures right across that forecast period as well. In Chinoi, a maximum of 28 with plenty of sunshine, but a bit cooler in the morning with a minimum of 10. In Lupane, make sure to enjoy that sunshine with warm daytime conditions. In Bindura as well, though it should start off cold in the morning with a minimum of 9 degrees Celsius. In our resort town of Victoria Falls, perfect time to do those afternoon activities as we have a maximum of 29 degrees Celsius, the same for Kariba as well. This has been our weather report and forecast. Thank you for joining in.
Well, that's it for tonight. From the crew behind the scenes and all of us here, good night.
Good night.
Saungangana chocho Mikaeli na ngoma taneniwa akatorwa